Today's episode is going to piss a lot of people off, and that's okay because the truth usually does. I'll say this: a homeless alcoholic is far more respectable than one who stays at home and makes everyone else's life hell. A lot of people act shocked, but the ones who've lived through this, they said, yeah, man, say it louder. So today we're talking about the alcoholic who never leaves, the one who stays planted in the house like a damn Christmas tree in July and makes everyone else breathe the fumes of their addiction. Not the alcoholic who ran off, not the one that disappeared. We're talking about the one who stays. And when they stay, they scorch everybody inside the same four walls. Let's say this plain and simple: the addiction, that's very real. The drinking problem, the drug problem, that too is very real. But here's the part that none of them like hearing. The drinking might be a disease, as some call it, but the damage, that damage is always a choice. Stop letting people say it wasn't really him, it was the alcohol. Please. Alcohol doesn't create demons, it just gives them a damn microphone. It takes the mask off, shows what they're really made of. It's just like shaking a Coca-Cola bottle. Whatever comes out of it was always there. A homeless alcoholic, well, they destroy themselves, and that's sad. One that's in a house destroys everybody within a 50-foot emotional radius, and that's terrible. And I'll tell you why this homeless alcoholic comparison is very true. People yelled, "How could you say that a homeless drunk is more respectable?" Let me explain it to you in the simplest way. A homeless alcoholic hit their rock bottom. They didn't drag the entire household down with them. It's tragic, but it is contained. The alcoholic who stays at home, that's completely the opposite. They want the hotel perks, the gas station bedroom behavior, a soft bed, hot meals, electricity, plus drinking, chaos, mood swings, and zero accountability. That's what they want. They want to be the tornado and have the insurance check. A homeless alcoholic, they ran from the house. One that's still in the house, they stay and they set the living room with emotional fire, and they wonder why everyone's coughing. I can tell you what it's like living with an alcoholic because I did it my entire childhood. If you live with one, you also know the deal. The whole house can shift. The air can get really weird. You can feel the tension just like humidity, sticky, heavy, and you cannot ignore it. It's like living in a haunted house, but the ghost only pays half the rent. You shift. Your body becomes a smoke detector, always sensing danger. Your shoulders stay up, your stomach tightens, your sleep is shitty and trashy. You're not really anxious. You're just reacting like a person who keeps hearing footsteps on a creaky staircase. The trust that evaporates. Every promise feels like a cloud, visible now and gone in 2 seconds. And you start shrinking. You become the emotional version of a folding chair. Easy to store, easy to ignore, easy to sit on. And that's what living with an alcoholic does. It turns strong people into survival machines. And here's the playbook of how they keep destroying the home. They turn the house into the weather channel. Every day you're predicting storms. Is it going to be quiet or is it going to be loud? The conversations, those turn into shit shows. You walk in saying one thing and you leave thinking you just imagined the whole conversation. Their lies, they multiply like rabbits. One lie becomes two becomes an entire family. And the next thing you know, you're living in a petting zoo full of bullshit. They're always the victim. They act like the bottle just mugged them and robbed them, like the booze jumped out of a bush and forced itself on them. They train you to shrink, not because they tell you to, but because your nervous system starts doing it on autopilot and you just can't help it. Even like when you duck under a low branch, even when the branch isn't even there anymore, you're just used to it being there. That's not the drinking. Nope. It is psychological erosion. People ask, why won't they just leave? Why am I still here? Well, Let's break that down plain and simple. The drunk stays because it's comfortable, it's easy. There's always soft landings. People are always feeling sorry for them. There is a built in audience for their misery. They stay because the house cushions everything. They get food, bills somehow get paid. And best of all, somebody becomes their emotional babysitter. They love that. It's like getting all the benefits of adulthood with the accountability level of a house plant. No consequences, no growth, no honesty, just soft landing after soft landing. Rock bottom can't hit when you're the one standing under them like a human mattress. Sound familiar? Well, why do you stay? The memories, they hook you. That old version of them, the sweet moments, the hope that maybe, just maybe, this person is still somewhere inside. Fear that hangs on to you, and that's natural. The fear of leaving, fear of money, breaking up the family, being afraid of just starting over from scratch. I hear that every day. The exhaustion, that also plays a big part too. Sometimes it feels easier than packing boxes. Many times the silence feels easier than starting a fight. You stay because standing still feels less scary than jumping, even if standing still is killing you slowly. It's not your fault. It's not stupidity. It's survival. It's habit and it's trauma. It's the emotional version of running on empty and praying that the car can magically gas itself up. And this is a part that no one enjoys hearing. A homeless alcoholic, they hit a wall. They reach the end of the road. The one that's in the house, they're still cruising in your emotional minivan, burning your gas and breaking your mirrors and wondering why the car won't drive straight. One faced the truth and the other one, they're hiding inside of your stability like a raccoon living rent free in your attic. They don't change because you keep patching the holes in their boat while they're just sitting there drilling new ones. You're not the spouse anymore. You're a life jacket, and they'll keep floating as long as you let them cling on to you. And they stay not out of love, not out of loyalty, not because they give a shit. No, 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 no. They stay because you make the addiction too comfortable to walk away from. Let me say this clearly. You are allowed to get off of a sinking ship, even if the captain swears that he's trying his best. You're allowed to want peace. You deserve safety, and you're certainly entitled to want a life that isn't built around someone else's hangovers and apologies. A homeless alcoholic only destroys one life, their own. One in the house destroys an entire family. And if this episode shook something up inside of you, trust that feeling. That's your nervous system telling you that the truth, that's what your mind's been avoiding. And if you want raw, simple, common sense guidance, no fluff, no sugar, no bullshit, no excuses, go to my website, flinchnomore.com. That's flinchnomore.com. This is where you stop flinching and you start living. Let's talk soon.